Friends, today's topic is understanding data with DATABRICS. Here we'll discuss how to read, write data in DATABRICS, okay, using PYSPARK. Now let's get started. So first of all, we'll try to understand the data formats. So which are the most common data formats being used? So usually in most of the projects we usually use formats like CSV when you want to read text files or um, some sample data which is available in CSV. Then second format is JSON, okay. Then third one is Parquet. So what is a Parquet file? So a Parquet file is basically an open source a data type, and it basically in Databricks it stores the data in columnar storage file format to specially designed for efficient data storage and retrieval. So say for example, if you have a employee data set and you have an employee ID and employee name as columns, so it will store the data, all the records for employee ID, all the records for employee name, like that. So it becomes much faster for data retrieval, okay. Unlike traditional formats which is row based, so we see every row is saved. So we can see save in CSV or JSON, we see say there are 10 rows or 12 rows, like that. Then the next format is delta tables. Now what is delta table? Delta table is an extra layer above Parquet files. So basically it's like a combination of files stored in catalog, Unity catalog, okay, and in Unity catalog within a schema. And it also it's like a default table format in Databricks. So basically just understand, if you want to read a Parquet file you have to give a path, but if you want to read a delta table it is similar to a SQL table. All it does is it basically reads the data from a file storage only, but it's metadata, that means all the schema about those table is available to see in Unity catalog. We'll see in some time. So let's go to the next slide, okay. So I will show you in Databricks how it looks like. So I have used Databricks free edition for this video. So I'm using my free edition, as I said, and this is a sample notebook which I've created. So let's go to the Unity catalog which I was mentioning. So in Unity catalog, all here you see this is a catalog. Now what is a catalog, and Databricks? So let me show you. So a catalog in Databricks is basically, it's like a logical container, okay, and the top level in the data hierarchy. So in to maintain the governance or data security, this is the reason we have Unity catalog. So it's nothing but it's like an umbrella, so say for example you have multiple teams like a finance team, credits team, and marketing team. So you can create Unity catalogs for each team. Then it's just think from it's like a folder directory, okay, and in that folder directory is a C drive or root directory. So like that, catalog is the main directory. Inside the catalog there are multiple schemas, that's another level, sub level, or you can say sub container grouping. So in a schema, we can say there's a master schema in marketing, okay, then there are another tables, another schemas. So and then the third level is the actual table. The main reason to have the reason of having Unity catalog is especially if we want to provide restrict access to for the team members to not, they can't see confidential information in another catalogs, okay. So another catalogs which are available, so say marketing team can't access finance team's catalog. So that is the reason we have this umbrella. So Catalog is the top level hierarchy. Inside catalog there's a schema and then a table. So let's see. uh, yeah, so let's see. So as I said, your workspace is the catalog, okay, and the default is the schema, and inside default I have tables, okay, where all the delta tables are saved, and say volume. So inside the volumes is nothing but it's a file storage. So there in this example, VJ is the file storage and these are the Parquet files being saved. Okay, so I hope you now understand how catalogs are being set here. So workspace is one catalog, system is the default system catalog, and you can say in your project maybe there may be multiple catalogs, as I mentioned, finance, marketing, etc. Okay, and so now let's go ahead and understand how we want to read data. So now let's say we want to read data, read a CSV file in Databricks. So reading a CSV file, so this is the file path provided here in this new version of Databricks, free version. So let's run this. So this, if you see here, is so the syntax here is spark dot read dot format, and you have to mention the format CSV. Does your CSV have a header or header? If yes, then mention true. If not, then just mention false. And then once you read the data, you can provide the column names. Okay. Then you can write dot option, and you can provide the delimiter which is being mentioned in your CSV. So in my case, your delimiter is comma. In your case, it can be a semicolon, can be a pipe, can be any delimiter. Option infer schema means it will try to load the data and as per the schema in your CSV file. Okay, and then dot load, and you can mention the path of file path. Okay, how I got this file path is from catalog. I expand the catalog, and then the schema, and inside the schema there is this is the file storage, and this is the name of the CSV file. So there's a three dots here, you can just click on that and copy volume file path, and after copying volume file path we'll get this file path. Now let's run this. So after running this, reading the same schema, data frame.display, you can see we have ID, name, host, and all this data has been loaded in the data frame. Okay, now in the Spark data frame. Now let's print the schema. So when you do a dot print schema, it will print all the schema, which is, if you see, it has picked up all the schema which is available in the CSV. Now next is if we would like to read the data, JSON data in a Spark data frame. So when I say Spark data frame, that means it's not a pandas data frame, it's a Spark data frame. We'll discuss in another video what does a Spark data frame mean. Okay, so spark.read.format, and then I'm here passing JSON and say load volumes, and this is the path of the JSON file which has been saved. You can mention your if your JSON file is saved in your S3 bucket or any other Azure Data Lake storage, you can mention the path here. So let's run this. So here the sample data set is iris data set, and you see it's displaying. Okay, now how do we read the data from catalog, tables from the catalog? So it's very easy. We have this spark.read.table. That's the syntax is spark.read.table, and just mention the catalog name dot schema dot table name. So in our case we have so we can use There are some there's a sample there's a sample schema here, catalogs here, I'm sorry, sample catalog here, which has been shared by, yeah, DataBricks community. And inside samples there is a schema called NYC taxi, and there's a table called trips. So there's a already available table called trips. So if you see, I'm showing you preview here. Okay, so we'll try to read this. So how we are reading is spark.read.table, sample is the catalog, NYC taxi is your schema, and trips is your table. So let's run this. Okay, so if you see here, we can see the data available here. Now if I want to read the same data, instead of using PySpark, we can directly also use SQL. Okay, so for example, if I want to use run it, we can run it using spark.sql and select star from catalog dot schema dot table and limit 100. So basically I just want to select only 100 records here. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, so we can see here. Now I will add another code where I would like to run the same table now, but not using Python but using SQL. So here let's change the language to SQL, and we can write select star from samples dot, let's take another schema, AccuWeather dot forecast hourly metric limit 100. Okay, so this is the way we can directly read the data from catalog, and it's as same as SQL, running running the queries in SQL. Okay, so we saw this. Now let's try using now let's try saving some data. Now we just saw about reading the data. Now let's try about saving the data. So here I'm calling PySpark.sql.functions. This is an inbuilt library which is used to, which we use to manipulate the data as per our requirement. So I'll just call means if I want to I want to use a specific column of any data frames. For that we need this call. Okay, and round is for math.round, means I want to turn the output into only 2 decimal places. So let's say run this, and I'm creating a separate data frame. Df filter is equal to df3 dot filter column trip underscore distance is greater than 0. Why? Because I'm trying to generate the fare per kilometer. So for that I need to have the distance which is greater than 0 kilometer. Okay, so that's why I will run this. And the best way to see your data frame is df filtered dot display. Okay, so I filtered this, and now let's create an updated data frame, df filter dot width column. Width column is used when you want to create a new column based on the logic, based on some, if with some calculation or logic. So here what we are trying to do is trying to generate a new column, fare per kilometer, and I'm trying to do is divide the fare amount divide by trip distance. Okay, so fare amount divided by trip distance will give me what is the fare per kilometer, and I'm doing a round, means I just want to fare per kilometer with only 2 decimal places. So let's do it. uh, and we'll see what is the outcome. So you see fare amount is 8 and fare per kilometer is 5.71. So this is the fare amount for the total distance, but this is per kilometer rate. Now how I can save my data frame into catalog. So it's very simple. We have to call the df updated dot write dot format, whichever format you want to save. So here I'm trying to save it in delta format dot mode dot override. There is another mode called append. So if you just want to keep on appending your data, you can call append as otherwise override. So in my case, I am trying to save this data in workspace catalog default namespace and trip updated. Now since I have already have this table, I give another name, trip new. Okay, so let's see here. Default tables 3 and trip new table has been created, and we can preview the data. So if you can see, fare per kilometer new column has been created in the new table. Okay, now let's say you have your specific location where you want to save your data in Parquet format. Okay, so you can mention the uh, this your data frame dot mode dot override, and you can mention a location. So in this current sample, this is the location and this is the syntax. I can give, since this is already present, I'll say 2, and let's run this, and we'll check in the volume here in the VJ, and we see here Parquet 2 is being saved. Now after getting saved, say I want to load the data from the same location, then I will call the newly created table and load data df, and I'll try to run this. So your spark.read.parquet, and then just mention the location, and you will be able to see the data here. Okay, yeah. Now here is one more sample where this is data this is some dummy data which is being created here, and spark.create data frame, this will create the data from your list, and we have to mention what is the catalog name, schema name, and table name. So my data table 2, that's the name because this table is already there, and we have to call a simple df.write.format delta.mode override, and you can save. You can mention the catalog name, the schema name, and the table name in this way. Okay, so let's run this. So basically, whenever you are writing some logic and you want to save it as per you want to save it as for your new logic you want to save, this is the best way to save your data. Okay, so workspace default tables, and you see my delta table is here, and we can preview the data and see column 1, column 2. So I hope friends you like this video, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.